back half of the day as it pushes into the hills, we'll see this thing get over Poncha Pass, over La Vida Pass, and into the San Luis. Everybody, it is 7:10, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in the southeastern corner of the state. Severe weather coverage on Peaks to Plains Weather is sponsored by Tamco Building Products. We'll take you to the far southeastern corner of the state where the severe thunderstorm warning is up through 7:30. So it is for the very, very southeastern corner of Colorado. You really can't get any more southeast than this. It is 4 areas off to the east of Campo, and radar indicating the potential for some hail to 1.5 inches in diameter, and also some wind gusts to around 60 miles per hour. Now, if we look at some of the radar parameters of this storm, you can see the vertically integrated liquid, which is a tool that we use to analyze how much water is in the vertical column of the storm. It is showing some pretty high values here. Again, this is just off to the southeast of Campo with 2 cells that we have. 78 is pretty high for the vertically integrated liquid, but another way that we can look at it is look at the automated hail tracks from the automated radar tracking here. And you can see over the last 45 minutes, we've kept most of this action into New Mexico, but in just the last little bit here, we've seen some of that hail move up into the southeastern part of Colorado. And so, the hail size probably in the process of getting a little bit smaller over the next little bit, which is good. But right now, between 1 and 1.5 inches, the strongest of the cells is into southwestern Kansas. And you can see that this storm has been growing here as it has come into Colorado. And you can see that the tops of the storms are now at 60,000 feet, which is a sign of strengthening. And as we start to get the sun lower in the horizon, you can see some of the updrafts there. Off to the east of Campo. These are the updrafts associated with these thunderstorms. This is an area that is a little bit tough to analyze. It's one of the top 10 radar holes in Colorado because it's so far away from the 3 closest NEXRAD radars. So we are seeing several miles up into the storm down into this area. But that said, we do still have some pretty intense echo on this. And that's one of the reasons that the Weather Service has gone ahead and issued this warning. So we are measuring over 61 dBz, which stands for decibels. Think about it as how, when you hear how loud you hear, it's kind of how much energy is coming back to the radar. Over the next little bit, this storm is going to head into Kansas. It's moving off to the east at between 20 and 25 miles per hour. That will get it right to the state line here in the next 20 minutes or so, and that takes us to the expiration of this severe thunderstorm warning. And I would expect that to be allowed to expire at 7:30 because the second updraft back behind it has already collapsed here in the last couple of radar frames. So let me loop this for you one more time, and you can see this storm off to the east of Campo. And let me give you a little bit more. I'm going to give you 30 minutes. And you'll see that what was a stronger cell closer to Campo has now collapsed. That means that wind, like I said, is also a pretty big threat with some gusts to 60 miles per hour possible. Before I let you go here, what will probably be for the evening, you can see we'll measure some of this wind. Remember, this is not reflective of what is happening down at the ground because it is up so high, but you can see a downburst is developing here. This is a storm that, we knew was going to do this. We were talking about it this morning. So we'll measure some of the wind speeds here. Again, this is pretty high up in the storm, and so it's not necessarily, reflective of what's happening down at the ground. But there is a little bit of convergence. There's actually a cell in southwestern Kansas that is showing some rotation. And so if I put the reflectivity back on there, you can see, as I said, the storm off to the southwest of Richfield, but that's the strongest one we have going. So for the few people that are in this area, you are now aware of it. It is going to get out of here pretty quick, as we thought would be the case. By about 7:30, most of the storms will be done. Hail and wind off in the southeastern corner of Baca County, and that should do it for our severe weather coverage this evening on Peaks to Plains Weather. We'll have the forecast for you tomorrow morning. We hope you have a good night, and if you are in the path of this storm, stay inside until it passes, away from windows, and everything will be a-okay. You're watching Peaks to Plains Weather.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.